Good afternoon. Deputy Director, Executive Assistant Director, ATF executive leaders, employees, former employees, friends, family members, distinguished visitors, we cordially welcome you, or welcome you back to the ATF. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives plays a critical role in enforcing federal laws related to firearms, explosives, arson, and now immigration. Over the years, advances in technology have significantly enhanced the Bureau's ability to meet and often exceed its mission. Application systems and tools like data analysis software, digital forensics, firearms tracing systems, and many, many others have revolutionized the way our agency tracks, monitors, and responds to threats to the American public. The Office of Science and Technology, whose responsibility includes strategic planning, management, supporting, and modernizing the Bureau's enterprise suite of applications, leads this charge for the Bureau. Today we gather here at our magnificent headquarters building to bid farewell to two of OST's best and brightest. Deputy Assistant Director, Ms. Victoria Gold, and our Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Mason McDaniel. To start today's commemoration, I'd like to pass the mic to ATF's Deputy Director, Mr. Marvin Richardson. I'll move this stuff out of the center.
Appreciate it. All right. Good afternoon. Okay, I know it's after lunch, but good afternoon. All right, you guys know me, so you can tell there's some folks who've been around me before. Hey, look, first thing I want to do is just say welcome again here to ATF. It's one of those occasions where, you want to smile, but you feel like crying too. Because you know that there's so much good that has been done by the people that you're bidding farewell to that you just don't want to say farewell. And I won't say goodbye. We'll only say farewell, because as I'm looking out over the audience, I see some people who have returned. So when you say farewell, that means that you always have an open door through which you will be welcomed back to come to this family anytime, because you guys are part of this ATF family forever. Good, bad, or otherwise, you're stuck with us, okay? So look, that said, today we gather to honor and celebrate the retirement of two of the most influential IT leaders in the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Individuals whose expertise, vision, and dedication have helped to shape the technology landscape of this agency over the years, and whose influence will continue to impact our agency for years to come. Tori Gold and Mason McDaniel have played a critical role in ensuring that ATF remains at the forefront of innovation, cybersecurity, operational efficiency, and modernization. Their leadership has been instrumental in modernizing systems, enhancing data security, and streamlining mission-critical operations that support law enforcement efforts across the country. Their contributions have not only improved the way that we work, but they have also strengthened the agency's ability to protect and serve the American public. Under their collective leadership, we have launched Spartan, our new law enforcement case management system, modernized our industry services platforms through the ITEM project and now through CCGTM, all these great government acronyms that mean nothing to you but everything to us. They have built an enterprise data warehouse, transported nearly all of our systems to the cloud, saw exponential growth in the use and development of crime gun intelligence analytics, and always provided the best technology platforms to support our mobile workforce. Well, almost the best platforms. We're not going to mention that little Dell venue sidetrack that we took some years ago. Just kidding. I think that's a little bit of an inside joke, but for those who know, I thought that was a neat little tool, just didn't realize it didn't work. But it wasn't their fault, okay? So anyhow, look, all kidding aside, their efforts have truly helped to make ATF a world-class law enforcement organization, and we thank you for that. Beyond their technical expertise, Tori and Mason have been mentors, problem solvers, and steadfast colleagues. Their ability to lead with integrity, inspire innovation, and navigate challenges has left a lasting impact on those who have had the privilege to work alongside them. Your tenures collectively have left a legacy that extends beyond the walls of this building. It's a legacy of professionalism, dedication, flexibility, and creativity, which will continue to encourage us to look for and, if necessary, create our own solutions. Item. You have made us stronger, more capable, and better prepared to address our future technical needs. So as you both step into this next well-earned phase of your lives called retirement, we extend our deepest gratitude for your years of service, dedication, and leadership. And while you will both certainly be missed, your legacies will continue in the systems that you have built, the teams that you have mentored, and the mission that you have both so passionately supported. So Tori and Mason, we wish you all the best in this next chapter, whether it's traveling, spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying the freedom of retirement. Thank you for your service, for your leadership, and for your lasting contributions to ATF. And now I want to take just a little bit of executive liberty, and I want to ask you both to come up and join me for just a second, because I want to give you something personally. So, I'll start with Tori. So, I was telling Tori's family, when I first met Tori, I came back to headquarters in 2012. And one of the first things that I was saddled with was being the directorate leader for an IT development project out in our National Tracing Center called eTrace 4.0. You know, when something's got a number behind it, that means, hey, this is something serious, right? So one of my first interactions with Tori was really one of those face-saving interactions. We were meeting with the contractor, which I knew very little about IT and still don't today, still today know very little about IT, which is why we've had Tori and Mason. But we're sitting in this meeting, and I'm just lost. Now, I'm the deputy assistant director, mind you, and I'm lost. And I'm sitting there going and they're talking, throwing all these, technical terms around. And Tori's sitting there, and it's kind of like, I got you. That's when you know you not only have a colleague, you have a friend. And after that meeting, she took the time to actually sit down with me and explain IT for dummies so that I understood everything that happened in the meeting. And it was just one of those times that launched not only a great relationship just from a standpoint of being peers, but also from the standpoint of being friends. And that relationship has continued to this day. In fact, I owe my new hardwood floors to Tori. That's an inside joke too, but I know you get it. So Tori, I just want to give you a small token of my appreciation. Now, it wouldn't be an ATF gift with at least, something from one of the three letters there, and I can guarantee you it's not the T or the F, okay? So, so hopefully you can enjoy a little bit of this in one of those downtimes when you're just sitting around and reminiscing. Thank you so much. All right, Mason. Now this will be a good one, right? Because I was actually in my position as the Deputy Assistant Director over in EPS and had just gotten promoted to the AD. You know, acronyms around here, that's the Assistant Director. That means I was supposed to be the head cheese in that area, right? So I'm sitting, and one day I get this call that, hey, you need to go by Mason's office and look at the hairball. And I'm thinking, we got cats here at ATF? I mean, you know, only hairball I know about is the one I've had cats before, and they you know, and you get the hairball. So I'm thinking, okay, you know, hey, this guy's got a cat. So, but I go to his office, and the hairball is on a whiteboard. And it's got all these lines going different places, and some of them are curved, and some of them are straight, and I'm like, they told me to come over here and you were going to explain the hairball to me, right? So he started talking, and you know, and he's going, so Marvin, we got this system, and it does this, and I'm sitting there going like, that's why it's a hairball. I don't understand it, and I don't understand you, you know? But then he broke it down, and he talked to me in terms like technical debt. I was like, man, is that kind of like being in financial debt? You know? And it really was. It was like a whole lot of things all rolled into one. But he took the time again to just break it down for me, to understand what it was that we were facing, what our challenge was. And from that, we started doing something internally to our systems in our services side of the house that was unprecedented. It was one of the largest lift and shifts and remake and makeovers, you know, that had ever been undertaken, to be honest with you, in any organization, you know, without having 1,000 gazillion contractors doing it. We were doing a lot of this work, and we were doing it in-house. So to that end, I really owed Mason a debt of gratitude, because what we didn't have back then were the budgets that we needed to be able to do a lot of that work. But because of a lot of time, effort, and energy, and of course, I probably failed to mention that we stole him. So I have a real good friend who worked for his former agency that he came from, the FBI, and I loved sticking it in his craw that, you know, that I had his guy working for me. But that's another story. I told you I need your personal phone number so we can talk. But that's the guy that Mason is. He was the guy that made everything, again, clear for me to be able to understand. Because, you know, as a leader, you're only as good as the people that you have around you, okay? Any of us who think that we know everything know nothing, okay? And so you've got to really take the time to acknowledge and appreciate the people who bring you the knowledge to make the decisions that you need to make in order to move the mission forward. And Mason was that person as well for me. So Mason, again, small token of my appreciation. A little bit of that same A in here for you in the ATF, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Uh-oh. Take mine and not yours.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. We have two presenters that want to say a little bit more about our OST leaders. So from EPS, AD Bennett.
Tori, Mason, congratulations, first of all. And Marvin, shouldn't have asked you both to sit back down because I'm going to ask you to come up, sorry. You guys should really just stay. So first, just let me say thank you to you both for everything you've done for EPS over the years. As Marvin said, he was the AD. There have been some people in between us, but now I'm the AD in EPS. And without both of your work on our systems, we just wouldn't be where we are today. So thank you both. A little story first about Mason. When I was in a previous role, I wanted a calendar system that did all kinds of things and managed projects, and procuring that for the government can be difficult. So somebody said, well, call Mason. So I don't know if you remember this. So I called Mason and I said, does this exist? Can we use it? Microsoft got something? And he said, oh, yeah, what you need is this program. And he shares his screen and magically it appears exactly what I'm looking for. And so I started using it and of course promptly forgot how to use it all. So thank you for being very, very patient with me over the years. He's also explained the hairball to me. But thank you for everything and your patience with me and always having a solution.
And vice versa.
Thank you very much. And Tori, I've known Tori for a long time, but when I first got to know Tori, we were in San Antonio. I know you know what I'm referencing. We were in San Antonio, and our special response teams took us out, for those of us who aren't 1811s, and took us out and let us drive the Bearcats. Matt, I'm not sure if they're supposed to do that, so if they're not, we didn't. But we got to be bad guys in scenarios with them, and it was a lot of fun. We learned a ton about what they do. But that's where I really spent a lot of time with Tori, getting to know you a lot better in a different role, and having the dog find us and was a little scary. But thank you for everything. You are a great translator for me when I am trying to say something IT related and am completely inept. Somehow you know exactly what I'm trying to say and can translate it for the contractors so they know, because the poor things it just doesn't compute. So thank you for that. Thank you for everything you've done for EPS. I really appreciate it. And EPS would like to present both of you, and my arms aren't long enough. We have an honorary FFL, Federal Firearms License, for each of you from EPS. In case anybody is taping this and broadcasting it, you cannot use these licenses. They're not valid. People will get that joke later. So on behalf of EPS, something for you to remember. Thank you. Something for you to remember EPS by and what you've worked so hard on over the years to get us where we are. So thank you, and also, one more. You each have one of these, and again, my arms aren't long enough, but for each of you, we got champagne flutes for you to enjoy the A that other people have gotten for you. So thank you.
Try the sitting thing one more time.
I don't know.
Thank you, A.D. Bennett. I think we have another presenter from OM.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan Kay. I'm the Deputy Assistant Director for the Office of Management. I will not have you stand. That is my gift to you both. So yes, I am here on behalf of the Office of Management, but in many ways I'm actually here on behalf of most, if not everyone else in the Bureau. For those of you who don't know me, I spent the better part of 23 years in the field as an agent and here in headquarters performing different roles. Over that time, I got to know Tori and Mason well before I ever met them, because I was using the very technology that they researched and that they procured with their partnership with the Office of Management. And I slowly became to realize, as I started to progress in my career and ended up here playing with dollars and cents, that nothing happens in this Bureau without money and technology. Tori, in our short time working together, I have learned that you are a very voracious and passionate advocate for your people and for your budget. I've come to respect how much you have been able to do with how little. and I greatly appreciate our partnerships and even our elevated conversations about what things cost, what things should cost, and how we're actually going to get there. At the end of the day, we both had the same mission at heart. Mason, I'm not going to stand up here and say flowery things about you because, let's be honest, this is the first time I've ever seen the man. As far as I'm concerned, he's a bit like Oz, and I feel like I've gotten to the end of the Yellow Brick Road. I have truly appreciated knowing who you are, not just from the technology that I used and enjoyed. A lot of times it exceeded what I actually owned. But again, we don't do our job in the field, whether it's in enforcement or regulatory. We don't query a database. We don't run a data report. We don't do anything without the technology that we have here today. Everyone here is cut from the same cloth. We always find a way to do more with less. And when it comes to technology, and I know how much we give them from the Office of Management, it's not what they need or what they want, but they always get the job done. It is why we are so good at what we do here at ATF, because we have dedicated people like Tori and Mason who know what needs to happen and they find a way to get it done. And for that, I am eternally grateful to both of you for keeping us safe, for keeping us productive, and for being the true professionals you both are. So I will not have you stand up. When you are through with what the Deputy Director has given you, we have allocated some resources towards a backup. I hope you enjoy it with a warm meal, and I hope you think of us as fondly as we will remember you both. Thank you.
DADK, thank you. All right. I'm going to start with DAD Gold. Ms. Gold has over 34 years of federal government information technology experience across a broad range of business programs and departments, including submarine logistics, legal, Navy shipbuilding and facilities, and law enforcement. She spent 20 years of her career working directly within the CIO offices of two of the largest Department of the Navy organizations. First, at Naval Sea Systems Command, and then for the Commander of Naval Installations Command. In 2011, Ms. Gold was appointed as the Deputy Assistant Director for the Office of Science and Technology and the Deputy Chief Information Officer for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. At ATF, Ms. Gold is responsible for leading the Information Technology Program for an agency charged with protecting the public. This includes the network, telecommunications, applications, development, data management, and analytics departments. She defends and executes an annual budget of over $90 million. Ms. Gold provides leadership resulting in improved efficiency, security, and reduced operational costs for ATF. She has led projects in direct support of the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General's priority goals in the areas of streamlining government operations, tribal law enforcement, and data center reductions. Deputy Assistant Director Gold, we thank you for your 34+ years of exceptional government service, your dedication to ATF's mission, and your countless personal and professional sacrifices made in support of our country and the American people. We would like to present a few gifts from your friends, colleagues, and extended family at ATF. If you wouldn't mind coming up. I have tissues here. The first thing I'll pick up. So I came to the ATF in 2022, and I remember two things. I remember how I met DAD Gold, my boss. It's right there by the elevator, and I wasn't supposed to be here. And I came in, and she was like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Angel Rodriguez." And she said, "Oh, I think I'm your boss." And she said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "They told me to come here." She was like, "That doesn't sound right." And that was the first meeting I had with my boss, right there by the elevator. And as time went on, I got to know her better, and we developed a very great professional relationship. And, you know, we would have those elevator conversations, and people would retire, and she would always tell me kind of like, hey, that was good, I like that. You know, one day I want to retire, I want that, right? And we had a retirement not too long ago, and someone got a plaque like this. And she said, oh, that's nice, I like that. And I said, you sure? She said, yeah, I like that. I said, okay, and then I bought it. That was 2 years ago. And I've had this in my closet for 2 years because that was the first time DAD Gold said she was going to retire, right? And we've had a couple of conversations since then, but I kept this waiting for you, and I would like to give that to you. I don't know if you can see that. Present you with that. Thank you. We have a number of other gifts here. As you can see, we're not going to go through all the bags, right? And not right now, right? But I did want to present you with one more. And it says, Outstanding Service Award presented to Victoria Torrey Gold. Congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for your years of dedicated service. Sir, we're going to save the flag for last. Okay, so we're going to save the flag for last. And the last gift are flowers from your friends at OSD. Okay. Thank you so much. Mason, it's your turn. I don't have any more flowers, though. Mr. Mason McDaniel has over 23 years of federal government service and has served as a Chief Technology Officer for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives since 2015. Mr. McDaniel started his career working at the FBI's Engineering Research Facility, where he designed and deployed electronic surveillance systems supporting criminal and counterintelligence investigations. That work led to a transfer to FBI headquarters following 9/11/2001, where Mr. McDaniel served as chief architect of multiple counterterrorism analysis systems, as FBI enterprise data architect, and as senior advisor to the CTO. Mr. McDaniel left the FBI for the private sector in 2009, serving as the director of 2 intelligence IT business units and leading a 100-person IT modernization team at CBP, before returning to government service in 2015 as ATF's CTO. Since 2015, Mr. McDaniel has led countless IT working groups, development efforts, and modernization initiatives. This includes migrating all of ATF's legacy systems to the cloud, implementing a deployment automation capability, deploying and refining IT governance policies, and training and directing IT teams on Agile and DevSecOps. Mr. McDaniel was responsible for supervising all cybersecurity operations for ATF. And in addition to his CTO role, he concurrently served as acting Chief Information Security Officer until ATF's current CISO was onboarded. In 2018, Mr. McDaniel was awarded the Life Saving Award by the ATF Director. Following catastrophic flooding in Houston from Hurricane Harvey, in his personal time, Mr. McDaniel worked with a handful of friends to rapidly build a set of technical tools and to grow a global team of over 700 volunteers who helped to rescue over 5,500 people and over 350 pets. When the Attorney General established a new Emerging Technology Board in 2024, Mr. McDaniel was selected as one of the 14 board members from across DOJ. Mr. McDaniel was then named co-chair of the ETB working group responsible for conducting an inventory and analysis of all uses of artificial intelligence within DOJ. Mr. McDaniel holds a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering and a master's degree in computer science with a focus in information technology. Mr. McDaniel, we thank you for your 23-plus years of exceptional government service, your dedication to ATF's mission, and your countless personal and professional sacrifices made in support of our country and the American people. we would like to present you with a few gifts from your friends, colleagues, and extended family at the ATF. So I'm going to go with a small one in size. And I hope you like this because I bought it without asking.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Thank you, sir. All right. With that, we are going to move into the closing remarks. EAD Hughes.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing? All right, awesome. Pretty ceremonial today in losing two professionals. So Tori and Mason, while I stand here today and reflect on your years of service, you know, Tori, you eclipsed 34 years of federal service, and Mason, you bring another 23 on top of that of expertise to the federal government. You have both served selflessly and experts in your trades of information technology. I can tell you this agency has benefited from your leadership here. We talk about government over years and how often agencies have just enough funding to patch and repair, right? And we never get to do anything new, but you truly both have taken on the tough job of bringing ATF well into the 21st century. Paying off, and I will use the term that you all use, paying off that technical debt and migrating to cloud services. So from Martinsburg, West Virginia, the basement servers that we used to have, it was really cold down there because they had all the air conditioning running, and we migrated to cloud. But guess what? The servers are still there because we need money to remove all the servers, right? I joyfully carry out our most humble congratulations to you and your families for hitting these remarkable milestones and reaching retirement, but also congratulations on getting this agency on track. While you've eclipsed just about the 57 years of combined federal service here, I can say you are working for a law enforcement agency. You served the interests of public safety since your start with ATF, and you and your families have endured ups and downs of every tour of duty you took, every position, promotion, sleepless nights and days, thinking about the blue screen of death. And I think that was the worst one. That one shut down the nation, I think. But your reaction to get us back on track after that happened was outstanding and phenomenal. But the circle of death, or swirl of death, is another one. And in the director's office, we talk about the Commodore 64 looking upside down or sideways smiley face that we get when we can't get our computers to start. And I mean, beginning to think to myself, what is on the mind of IT professionals that they use these little memes and these little symbols to show that your computer's not working correctly? Like, who thinks of this stuff? It's you guys, right? It's really smart people, right? Think of these things. But with all those things aside, you know, in your realm, in this daily critical decision-making that you have landed both yourselves into in those roles, and you've solved the problems over time, and the tasks you've expertly executed over the years, we've battled, and this is us, we've battled, we've disagreed. I can tell you I sat in the EPS position as well. We fought, right? We've collaborated, we've troubleshot, and in the end came successful outcomes just about every time. Does it ever end? No, it doesn't. But you're leaving the next level of leaders here to step in and continue and live the legacy you've both started and both continue to instill here. The hallmark of law enforcement is the color blue, and being a part of the agency makes you automatically blue to the core, both of you. Two of the most respectful public servants and LE support executives in this nation. You both have been close associates, friends, mentors, sounding boards amongst all of us. We've yelled random bad words behind closed doors. I can tell you that. And that was more so Tori and I, more so than Mason. Mason would just give the big open eye look. when those things happen. So I would say those same roles with the majority of others here, I think we all feel the same about your contributions to this agency. And that's everybody. That includes OST, right? That's IT, that's lab services, that's the financial investigative staff, and every one of you here, I think you all agree the contribution these folks made. And I don't think anybody would disagree there. For me and others, you're a symbol of long-term durability, and I'm going to again use one more term, that's IT, and that's agile. The attribute of agility is woven into both of you because you're the best at navigating us through tough times. I wish you the best ATF post-career of your lives that anyone can ask for, one hopefully spent closest with your families. Never forget us, we will not forget you, and reflect on the positive impressions you have made on everyone here. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, sir. So there were a few people that wanted to do some presentations that were not on the agenda. I would ask if anyone else has something they would like to say to come on up.
Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Theron Jackson. I'm the acting DAD and OPRSO. And for those of you who do know me, I'm sure you share the sentiment that goes something like, and may God have mercy on our souls. I'm just going to take a few moments just to say a few words. I don't want to be escorted off like an Oscar recipient. So, Mason, I would simply say I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your incredible patience for the probably 982 times I called you to make sure that our Agile methodology was sound as we were developing Spartan. I appreciate that. Hey, Tori. So I very much wanted to say something to you in this forum, and I couldn't figure out where to start. So I decided I would go with telling you the story of what happened to me yesterday as I was standing by our signature board. I stood there paralyzed, absolutely no idea where to start. Do I start with the days we first met where you and then AD Holgate walked into a room with the director thinking, who is this guy they keep calling Captain Kirk and why is he in my meeting? Do I talk about the phone call I got from Tom Brandon saying, hey, Tori Goldman needs some help with something, give her a call, help her out. Yes, sir, absolutely. And then when I called you, you said, yeah, we're going to OPM for 6 months. And I went, oh, cool. We're going where now? Or do I talk about the friendship that grew from that point, grew to the point of family? Do I talk about the many things you taught me, the innumerable difficult diplomatic situations that you got me out of, and a bond that came to be governed by the idea that friendship must dare to risk, or it's not friendship? In the end, I think I'm going to go with what I wrote on that board, and that is, there isn't enough room on that board. There isn't enough paper in this building. Amazon Web Services doesn't have enough cloud storage for me to adequately express what your friendship means to me. Thank you hardly begins to cover it. I can only hope that my actions over the years speak more loudly than those words. This is obviously not goodbye. You of all people know they're going to have to work infinitely harder than this to be rid of me. But I will miss you in this place, in these halls, and I know that I have ATF to thank for our friendship. So in closing, for those of you who do know me, I will leave you with the words of a scientist of some renown. I have been and always shall be your friend, and to you and your family, live long and prosper. Thank you.
Do we have anybody else that wanted to present, say anything? Any gift bags hanging out in the back? No? I would like to ask DAD Gold or Mason yourself, if you'd like to say anything, come on up.
They have tissues here for me because I may need them along the way. I want to start by thanking my family. My husband's on the video, and my daughter, Savannah, my brother, Rich, and my sister-in-law, Tree. Family is everything. And, my family is what, the reason I am who I am today. You mean the world to me. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I was given this amazing opportunity to work in a career where I felt like I was making a difference for my entire career. I loved coming to work. I loved being here, to work for something that was greater than myself. I still remember my first job as a GS5 working for the Submarine Directorate. That was a long time ago. I'm thankful for every supervisor, every person who chose to mentor me, every colleague who gave me advice along the way, because I have grown so much over the years, and it's made me a better person, it's made me a better colleague, and it's made me better able to give back to the American people. One of the many things I loved about ATF, which we did not do in the Navy, was I had the opportunity to swear in new employees. The oath of office: I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter, so help me God. That oath was a reminder of our commitment to the American people every time I swore in a new employee. I'm honored to work alongside people every day who make our neighborhoods safer from violent crime. We're a very small law enforcement organization compared to some of the others, and I am so proud to be part of this organization. I'm humbled by the sacrifices that people in this building make day in and day out. You are my heroes, and I don't say that enough. Marvin, I've seen you in many roles in this organization, and I have respected you and just been so impressed by you in every single role. Your heart is in this organization. You have given it everything, and you leverage technology to make it better, which I love. I am honored to work for you. I want to personally thank some people. I want to personally thank Alfonso and Roger, who is sick with COVID and he couldn't be here today, my colleagues and my team. You have been an inspiration to me. And I probably didn't say that enough, but there are things that you did that I grew from and learned from, and I appreciate. Each and every one of you brings something invaluable to the table for ATF. You help us make neighborhoods safer. You help us make America better. All of you are amazing. Fonz, I love how much you care for the people in this organization. I love your compassion and everything that you do. If I could only get the tables and the chairs and the power cords back on the second floor, I would love that. I thought I would never find a job that I loved more than the Navy. I was wrong. ATF is like home to me, and I will miss this place. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Mason? And Mason, while you're up here, I forgot. We also have an Outstanding Service Award for you. Thank you for your years of dedicated service.
And I did not prepare any comments, so I've been trying to figure out what stories. There's so many. And Fonzo mentioned the spinning wheel of death. So I figured I'd start there. When I first started at ATF, came in with all kinds of great ideas about IT and all of the fantastic things we can do. But first wanted to just kind of get a lay of the land and figure out how are things and what's it actually like here. So in my first couple weeks, I traveled out to the Richmond field office and met with a number of agents and IOIs and folks that work out there in the field. And before cracking into any ideas, I said, just show me what your job is like. Like, bring up the systems, show me what you do. And they brought up the system, they logged in, and we watched the spinning wheel of death for about 10 minutes till they were able to get in. And they said, I don't want to talk about anything until you fix that. And that was honestly some of the best feedback I could get kind of right off the bat, because all the ideas and shiny toys in the world don't matter if they don't actually help the people that are out there doing the work. And IT only exists to enable the mission. So the focus since then truly has been, what is the pain point? What are the main pain points of the people in the field? And what can we do to address them? So there was that. I went out to Martinsburg, to the National Tracing Center. And again, it was my first week or two. I believe it met you, Fon. I don't think you were there, Fonz, but Marvin, you were AD. And I was getting a demo of E-Trace, E-Trace 4. And I believe it was Ed giving it, but it was my first couple weeks and it was a long time ago, so forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but I think it was Ed. And again, I'm a smartass. As he was logging in, I kind of half jokingly pointed out, hey, there's a typo on the splash page where you were logging in. And he said, I know, it's been there 2 years. We don't have anyone that can fix it. And I was like, oh my God. If we can't fix that, what are the other things we're not fixing? And it's really hard to capture how much has happened from that time till now, because so much of it is behind the scenes, and we have not been able to focus on the user-facing stuff that actually matters to the people. So much of it was trying to fix the crumbling infrastructure that was behind the scenes. Probably the best way I can capture it, though, is that I love going with some of the folks here to some of these social networking events for cybersecurity and IT professionals. Not to talk shop or do professional networking. The entire purpose of those is to try to beat each other with the best stories of the worst IT and the most difficult IT challenges. And we're constantly trying to one-up each other. And I would just like to thank ATF for the fact that I have never lost. Before I joined ATF, I was interviewing with the director at the time, Tom Brandon. And he knew I had spent a long time at FBI. So we were talking about that, and I asked him, what are your views of the differences between ATF and FBI? And I loved his answer, and I spent a long time at FBI, so I can throw shade at them, or at least relay shade. And I grew up an Army brat, so I can kind of take some offense to his comments, because he was a Marine, but bottom line is he was not wrong. He said, FBI is like the Army. They're going to come in, they're going to overwhelm you with numbers, and by God, they're never going to leave. ATF is more like the Marines. We're going to come in with a small force, we're going to get the job done, we're going to hand it off to others, and we're going to move on to the next hard challenge. And there's a lot of truth to that. And he said, it's all about partnerships. In our cases, with the state and locals, with each other, within the organization. And he mentioned the same thing that you did, Marvin. ATF is a family, and that has definitely been true. I've seen that a great deal. And I want to thank you all for letting me into your family. And I want to thank you for everything every one of you has done for me personally, for what I see you doing for each other every day, and most importantly, for everything you do for the country to keep them safe. Because there are some things that are big and very public, but there's so many that are small and invisible, and they all matter. And I'm proud to have played even a small part in helping what you do. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. So before we move into the cake cutting, we'd like you to come up and have the Deputy Director present you with the American flag. Mason, Tori. I think we're going to switch now. So we got the photographer come back up. I'm sorry. I didn't know they were going to do this. Thank you. And we're going to cut the cake. Tori, we have a cake for you. And Mason, we also have a cake for you. I had to use a knife early on that one, sir. Ceremonial. We're not going to start eating just yet, but if you could come up and get your photos. Thank you. Thank you.